Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and tonight I have the newest operation for you, Cherry Blossom. I'm in the Tier 8 American Light Cruiser, the Cleveland, and really that's what this operation exists to do, is highlight this new line which is completely in-game. The Dallas, Helena, Cleveland, Seattle, and Worcester. And it is one of the stronger ships. Now I'm playing alongside Goomba and Savea, and you'll notice Savea's in the Edinburgh, which is another very strong ship of this because it brings the heal. So off the bat, I spawned in the north. Knowing these destroyers would be here, I popped my radar to detect them before they could open fire. And as you can see, with everyone being forced to be in a Tier 8 cruiser, you make very short work of these DDs. And pretty much the second we wipe these out, and my radar's gone now, but they're close enough that they're detected. And thankfully, most of the time these destroyers fire. Almost always once they kind of get into gun range. Oddly enough, not their torpedoes until later on. These early destroyers really focus in on their guns and just getting in super close with their torps. Anyways, so Cherry Blossom, now that we've wiped the first chunk out, you'll notice some of the stars up in the sky lighting chunks of water. If you sail into the lit chunks of water, you are spotted. Hard and fast, doesn't matter range, you're detected. So we've taken out the first thing. Now, me having spawned more to the north, I am going to kind of continue to shave my course up to the north. These two regiments on the shore are one of the things you have to protect to get 5 stars. And if you are not, quick about getting to this Miyoko and the couple other ships that spawn with her, they will get wiped out. I've had 1 or 2 go that way because, as you'll see in a moment, a couple Aobas spawn, and they have literally drawn my entire team away as, one ship tries to continue to protect these regiments. So depending where you spawn on this map really affects what you should be focusing on. If you're one of the southern ships, you just kind of have to beeline for those regiments to try to help them. If you're like myself and Savea and the 2 more northern ships, the best thing you can do is kind of just sail still in a straight line, but you be the ones who deal with these targets. So the Aoba has spawned, coming hard over, Savea is as well. And this just feels great. These are fairly lowly armored targets. They're always appearing at close range just because of night, and you just get to pump citadels into targets. Big damage adding up really close, and you can see how quickly Savea and I wiped that one Aoba out, and we're on to the next. Now our team's doing a very good job, and Goomba down in the south is charging straight in. They're going for those Miyokos. They know they have to get dealt with, and not a lot has turned north to deal with these Aobas because the reality is we're chewing through them quick enough, the 2 of us. Now a couple more destroyers get spotted, and more of the stars are going up in the sky, lighting up hunks of water. And I mean, it's just the atmosphere that these add, these lit chunks of water. I really do like it, and I could see a random battle tactic or mode coming in, much like Cyclone, where there are night battles, and just throughout the game, chunks of water get lit up, and if either player from either team sail into them, suddenly they're spotted. And I think the way they could do it is it just lights up chunks of water close to ships, but guarantees that no one is in it when the flares go up, or there's some kind of warning. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Now you can see our team continuing to charge in, Savea doing the same. Now I'm focused and thinking about this island up here because I know a couple destroyers spawn up there. So that's really what I'm thinking in my head, because I want to get close to them, I want to kill them as fast as I can, and really set the stage as well as possible for really the second part of this fight. The first part is everyone sail straight forward. Attack the things you see, don't get pulled off course, and the regiments will survive. They always wind up on low health, but they will survive. And I can see I'm not really shooting here, and I'm really talking to Svea, trying to let him know, hey, you know, up here, I'm going to turn, I'm going to radar before they're even detected, because I know when about they spawn and where they spawn. And with the last of the ships in the south kind of getting finished off, the Qckslvrslash really going to get focused down with Svea there and the rest of the team so close, I decide it's time to get turning north. So I put one final volley on the Qckslvrslash, and I'm bringing my ship hard about, turning up towards this island to be ready for the 2 destroyers. Because honestly, the first game, I ended up getting killed by them being very close. So I'm turned around, guns are coming about, it's time to hit that radar, and I'm going to have to get the Hydra up too, because you're going to see they're in tight. I get detected, that's all I need, there it is. And the nice thing with nighttime and your detection radius being smaller, you know, 100% guaranteed you're detected, your radar works. In the Cleveland, it's normally 0.1 difference, 9 kilometer radar, 9.1 detection, if I recall. So at the tight in detection that night offers, hell, Hydra will get the most times. Finish the first one off, and I'm in tight, and you can see they're not throwing their torps, and I don't know why they don't as much, or what their kind of requirements to throw them are, but I'm not going to complain. I get away safely, and now it's time for really the main second portion of this. And there's going to be a whole bunch that spawns up in the north. There's an aerodrome in about A4 and one over in, I'd say, about D1. An Otago spawns in kind of the C3 area and heads south, almost trying to get flanking shots on the carriers. And that's where I'm going to go, because the Otago becomes one of the tasks to finish. Now, a number of Zows are going to spawn, and from everything I've been able to see, you don't have to do anything with them. They'll shoot you, they'll attack you, but they'll ultimately sail off the map and disengage. So don't get too committed too far north early on, and our Cleveland really is getting a little aggressive. Now, one of the other nice things, if in the early stages of this battle you got beat up like Goomba or Dr. Jekyll there, the Essex, the Bunker Hill, becomes a repair party. You sail in there, you'll repair your health. Now, in the meantime, one of the other objectives that's going to come up is you have to get 50 airplane kills. As I said, there's 2 aerodromes that we're going to have to destroy, and that's where all the torpedo bombers start streaming in from. So we've got enough ships kind of to the north of our group that I'm comfortable there. So on top of wanting to get to a position to deal with the Otago, I'm trying to put myself between where this aerodrome is and where our carriers are, and do everything I can to protect the carriers, because they do a great job of dropping on the enemy ships. So the Zows have been spotted, and you can see they're already almost sailing off the map. Now, I've seen them spawn closer to the island and a little further away. Either way, it's time to get ready for AA. So not wanting to get pinched, I'm not going to sail in front of this island. I'm actually going to cut hard over, go around behind it, and just let my AA chew up these planes before they ever have a chance of getting close enough. And you can see, here's a couple more of our secondary tasks now. Get rid of the flagship Otago and destroy the aircraft. And I'm gonna get about half those aircraft myself. And I really think this was meant to spotlight the Cleveland and this light cruiser line, because you really have all the tools you need. You've got the AA, you have the radar, you have the hydro, and you've got a good rate of fire. And the enemy cruisers that spawn, you can Citadel no problem. You can pump HE in, you can pump AP in, you're gonna do damage. And that's not really the case in random battles, because when the Cleveland runs up against the higher tier targets, you just don't quite have enough, I find, to consistently penetrate as much as you might like. And even if you are using HE, I have found I get a lot more consistent damage running IFHE. So here's the Atago, time to focus them down, and I am getting myself a little separated from the fleet here, which is concerning. And one of the other big things that has cost me, or at least my teams more often than not, in getting the 5 stars, is, as you can see, one of our things is 4 ships from the team have to survive. We're doing pretty well right now. We've still got all 7. We're fairly deep in. A couple times by now I've already been down 2 ships, which is already putting you on the threshold. And if you look about, we're all on pretty decent health, so things are feeling good. Now, in separating myself from the team, I put myself in a very awkward position. I got the Atago, but with the Myoko, Shiratsus, and just the number of torps that are sailing through the water, and you can see Savea over there in the Edinburgh, and he's actually about to eat a torpedo and perfectly exemplify why the Edinburgh is such a strong choice here, is just that Royal Navy cruiser heal. He's going to get almost all the health he loses back. And when one of your objectives is your team's got to stay alive, being able to repair damage on your own and not having to go back to the bunker hill is huge. Now you can see the problem I'm running into. My cooldown's about to be active, but I've been steered in to one chunk of the map by this Myoko. And I can't really afford to maneuver how I want to deal with these torpedo planes because I'm really concerned about giving the Myoko my broadside. Now ultimately, I kind of hope for a gap to form in these torps from my AA, and it's close, but it's not quite enough. So I'm just going to have to do what I can and just continue to lay damage into this Myoko. Now I get a lucky break here. My damage control is down. I eat an aerial torpedo right about midship, and I don't flood. And now I'm moving enough. I don't really have a choice here. I've just got to keep sailing and get out. I've shot down 21 planes, just get my 22nd, and well, things are looking pretty good. You can see there's the southern aerodrome, the northern one is over there, right up on the corner of the map. We kill those at this point, we win. We don't have to kill any of these remaining ships. And you see far too many get wrapped up in that. We had a Edinburgh 1-game push-up basically to where these Zows had last been spotted, not paying any attention to that, trying to hunt DDs that ended up torping. No, not me. I know I'm not in this much longer. I'm about to lose to Cleveland. If we lose me, suddenly we're getting closer and closer to that threshold of not winning this. So I'm focusing on getting rid of one of the aerodromes, give us the best chance. I don't have the gun range to get the other, so it's going to be, let's get rid of this Shiratsu. One of the other things you may have noted is I am running special camo on my Cleveland, and the reason is, and you will see at the end of this match, the sheer amount of experience you get from successfully completing this mission. You put big damage on the board, high kill rates just because of all the destroyers. You can really farm experiences, and it's quite honestly just in playing this through a few times to make sure I know what's happening, it's almost got me through my Cleveland already. And I haven't played it a ton in random battles. I've played a bit, but well, you'll see how much XP I get. It goes by really quick and you only need 170k to move on to the Seattle. Now things are looking good. We've lost a ship, but we're in a very strong position. Their Myoko continues to just sail broadside on, so he's about to get aced. And we're in a position we can start shooting the other aerodrome. So me being low health, I don't have a huge option here. I'm going to disengage, stay alive. You never know. And case in point, we just lost to Cleveland, so if it was me, we'd be right on the threshold. And that's not somewhere I want the team to be. So I'm just going to circle away and try to buy time. You can see we're finally really opening fire on the aerodrome. Its hit points just melting away, and this cap and this win is looking secure. 5 stars on the board. We've got this. And 1 or 2 more volleys on that aerodrome. It is over. Doesn't matter if the ships are left. We win. And it looks like... oh, I thought perhaps you recognized me. He's telling me to go to the Essex, but there's no reason, because this one is over the second we can land some more shells into that aerodrome. And there it is. And that's exactly what you want to see. 5 stars. Oddly enough, actually did it the first time, but I died fairly early on to some early torpedoes. So I kept playing, really wanted to know what was happening, and I think I've got it all figured out. 365,000 credits, 22,000 XP, 16,000 free XP. That right there is why I'm going to be spending a fair amount of time running this mission, because it is a great way to get free XP and normal XP, and I'm going to get through this ship really quickly doing that. Like 4 more battles and I'm done. 142,000 damage and a bunch of kills, but ultimately the kill kind of just depends who fired at the right time, because you can see particularly early on everyone is just shooting everything that appears. Topped the team in this one, 22 aircraft, very good base XP, broke 2,000. You can see Surveyor there, 1,800. It's a great way to get some XP, and it's a fun mission, and it looks nice. I really like the night, the flares up in the air, just seeing the illuminated water, and then the slow sunrise kind of as that second phase begins. It lets you know what's going on. And as far as credits, took home over 200,000, and the XP I've already mentioned. Anyways, I hope people found this informative. I hope you can use what I've done here and shown here to go and beat this with 5 stars. Honestly, this one isn't too hard. You just have to go through it a couple times and get some teammates who don't suicide, and things will go well. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I am Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.